Dad.
Hi.
Okay, so tell us what your name is.
Okay, my name is Johnny Johnson, and I'm from Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Okay, so how old are you?
I'm 50,
Nope, 80,
85 years old.
82, Daddy.
82 years old.
He was born in 1938.
Yeah. I forgot some of that time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Dad
well.
has a problem with his memory a little bit.
Yeah.
So I have to help you a little bit.
Okay, well, that's
so
good.
Can you tell us a little bit where you were born? You say you were born in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Go back to Clarksdale, Mississippi, and give me a little information about Clarksdale.
Okay, I was born in Clarksdale, Mississippi on a plantation. Plantation was about 30 miles from Clarksdale, called Idaho Plantation. Mm-hmm. And while I was there, I learned a lot. I chopped cotton, I picked cotton, and I worked in a store. So when I got to be about 18 years old, they shipped me out to Clarksdale, which is about 15, 16 miles away. And I went to school at a school they called Coahoma Junior, no, that wasn't Coahoma, that was Aggie High School. Aggie High School was my first school. I went from the first grade to the 12th grade, and I transferred to the school that Clarksdale was called Coahoma Junior College, where a person could go to college and spend a year, 2 years, 3 years in college, and then move on to a higher grade.
So you from grade school to high school, you stayed at the same school for all those grades?
Yeah, I went from first grade to like 12th grade.
At one school?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about what that time was like back then.
Well, we studied the basics, math and psychology and English. We got the grammar, everything that was basic. We got a good sound training in that experience.
So, do you remember any of your best friends when you were growing up?
No, I don't remember anybody.
You don't remember anybody?
I don't even remember any of the teachers.
You don't remember the teachers either?
No, none of my personal friends do I remember.
You don't remember?
Mm-mm.
What about the time frame back then? Right now we have free to do everything. Back then, what was it like as far as being separated from the whites?
Well, during that time, blacks couldn't even look at a white woman. They could look at a white man, but they couldn't look at a white woman in the face. I had a little job. I was working in a grocery store, and white and blacks come in that store. But when a white woman come through the store, I looked very hard at her because she was looking beautiful. So I worked there for about 2 or 3 years, and they fired me.
They did?
Yeah. They didn't tell me why they fired me, but I know why they fired me. And then I went to school, which is about 10 miles out in the country, 10 miles from Clarksdale, called Coahoma Junior College.
So did you walk to school, drive to school, take a bus?
I hitchhiked to school.
You hitchhiked to school?
Yeah. I walk about 12 miles to the hitchhike spot, and it's a road that goes to Coahoma Junior College. I catch a car ride like that. Or if I couldn't catch a car, I walked to school.
You did?
Yeah, I walked many times to school. It's about a 15 miles walk.
Did you ever have to stop school to work in the cotton field?
Yeah, I did that too. I'm glad you brought that up. We were low-income people, so my mother, she picked cotton, and my father picked cotton, and my grandmother picked cotton, and all my cousins picked cotton. And when the cotton picking season was over, we just almost starved. It was just tough.
You almost starved?
Yeah, there was no money going on, no money transferring.
What did y'all do to survive?
Well, I kept hoping and praying that things would be different. And it wasn't different. I think my mother started gambling. She went to the, like a casino place. It's about 35 miles from Clarksdale every Saturday night, and she played the dice. And she was lucky enough to come back with $35, $40 every Saturday. We used that money there to get back in school. So I finally
You paid to go to school, or?
yeah. I didn't pay to go to high school, but high school is join Win with the college.
Oh.
So I got paid that, used that money to pay for my college education.
Oh, okay.
And I paid something like $700, $800 for 3 months for college courses. And when I got through paying these college courses, they wanted me to play football. So I joined the football team, and I handled the football team for about 4 or 5 years. Because 4 years is all you can stay on a football team. I guess I did 4 or 5. And I was the fastest guy in Clarksdale. Nobody could outrun me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no one could outthrow me either.
So what was your other hobbies?
Well, I played in the band.
When did you start? When did you first, do you remember when you first picked up drumsticks?
I started playing in the band in 19...
No. When did you, do you remember when you first picked up drumsticks, and
Yeah.
how old were you?
Now, let's see, I don't know how old I was. I was about 13. And I picked up drumsticks. And I remember now that my mother and all my family was just, they had to come. When I came home, they had to go get the cotton. They put cotton in their ears. I played the drums at home for a while, and they just got so tired of that. They brought me like a box I could beat. I beat on that box and beat on that box until they told me that I had to stop playing like that. So I finally...
Did you find comfort in playing the box, or?
No, I didn't find no comfort in that.
I know you told me one time, you said that's how you used, because so much stuff was going on back then, that you used that as an escape or to.
Yeah, I did. And later on, things changed for me.
How so?
Because I got a scholarship to Aggie High School and Coahoma Junior College. I was in high school already, so what they had to do is just transfer my records to the community college. It was an all-black college, all-black school. The high school was all black. All my schooling was all black. I went to college all black, and went to high school all black. So
is it because you guys wasn't black? It was desegregated, or?
It's during the segregation area. White people didn't want no black people to show them going to school and getting an education. I was one of those students that went to school and got an education. And I went to Coahoma Junior College. That's my highest rate.
Okay.
And after I went to Coahoma Junior College.
Did you ever have a run-in with the cops back then?
Yeah, many times. Because they accused me of stealing. I go downtown and look at stuff in the stores. And when I leave the store, they come at me and handcuff me and take me into jail and interrogate me. They didn't find anything. So they had to let me go.
So was it a false interrogation? Did they beat you with billy gubs or anything like that?
No, they hit you with your fist or something like that and make you speak.
Did they do you like that?
Yeah, you got to you hit your side in your side, upside your head, and you got to speak and tell the truth. They found out I was telling the truth, quick. So then.
So you told me one time they hit you in the back of they hit you in your back with the billy gub.
Yeah, I imagine I got hit like that many times. These white people were real vicious. I didn't like no black people. They only like white people. And if they catch you in the wrong any kind of way, they're gonna whip you, you know. Then I got interested in playing football, and I was the best football player that anybody's ever seen. Yeah.
Was you raised by your mother or?
No, my grandmother. The reason I was the best football player anybody ever seen, I could outrun and outthrow anybody in that school.
Well, before you started running that fast, were you running on the dirt roads or playing with neighbors and stuff like that to build up your speed? How did you get so fast?
Because the white people come in town looking for these black people that they didn't know who they were, and I'd run off from them.
So that's what helped you.
That's what got my speed. And I stayed in the alley. And I ran that alley from one end of the alley to the other end, and then come back on the street. You know, they didn't see me when I did that.
Did you see houses burned or anything like that?
No, I didn't see no houses burned. But I lived in an alley.
Did you go to church back then?
Oh, every Sunday I go to church. So.
What was your mother and your grandmother's name?
My grandmother was the lady that raised me. Her name was Clara Owsley. My mother's name was Elizabeth Johnson.
Okay.
See, so they did all they could to keep me out of trouble. But back at that time, a black guy could get in a lot of trouble and not doing anything because the Jim Crow was a system that they didn't like no blacks, and they beat up any blacks that they see, and then they almost beat me up. But I dodged them. I went through Starville. That's another little town down there. And they were looking for me, but they didn't catch me. So after I finished that, I went to junior college.
Did you ever have a problem with your skin tone? Did you get treated different because of your skin tone? Because you was very light back then?
No, they treated me just like a black man.
What words did they use back then?
Nigga, sit down. Come here, nigga. I said, yes, sir. And if I had said yes, sir, they'd probably beat me. I had to have a certain way of saying that. And that is, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I learned how to talk Southern. That's Southern. For a black guy, he's speaking Southern. So, after about 4 or 5 years of that training, the school and the junior college in Mississippi, they heard about my exploits, and they sent for me to come out there to this college. It was on a dirt road. The college didn't have nothing but a dirt road and a big playground. That's where the guys play football on.
Did y'all have running water, electricity?
Yeah, we had running water, but not a running water.
At your house when you grew up? Did you
No, I didn't have no running water. No running water. No electricity neither.
Y'all used the outhouse back then?
Yeah, I was number one to use the outhouse. And I cleaned the outhouse out.
You cleaned it, kept it clean.
Yeah, that was my job. Clean it. Look, we had about 15 people use the outhouse.
You did tell me that when the people were in the field picking cotton, that one of the ways that y'all cheated the white man with the cotton is that you put weights in the bag or rocks in the bag.
Yeah, if they catch you doing that, you go into jail. You had to be slick when you do it.
So, were you a water boy as well for the people in the field?
Yeah, I was a water boy. And what happened is...
Mule boy, that's what you told me.
I was a mule boy and a water boy.
What is a mule boy?
A mule boy is a guy that drives a mule in the field, way back in the field, where it's not a good idea for them to pick that cotton and bring that sack into the weigh station. Because some of them, like 40 miles out inside the field, they took a road and then they pulled that road for 40 miles, and they didn't have no way to come in and pull it up to the front to get it weighed. So the white people say, we're going to create something called a mule boy. That's the name of it. And the colored people could call out, hey, mule boy. And when they called out like that, hey, mule boy, I know they was talking about me. I jumped off of my business and I jumped on that horse, and I rode all the way 20 miles, maybe 15 miles out where they were. And I stopped and I picked up the sack, put them on the back of the mule. I turned around and I drove to the weigh station. Because see, you pick so much cotton, you got to get it weighed. It's about 20 miles outside that. They started at one point, and 20 miles later, they called for the water boy. Then I picked a full set of cake. So after that, I did that.
What about your daddy? Remember anything about your daddy?
Well, you see, I had more than one daddy. I had what I call, let's see. I gotta say that. I had a daddy that was unique to me. It was my personal daddy. But then I had another daddy that was no relation to me. My mother was dating. See, so my daddy couldn't do nothing for me. Neither one of them. Nobody could help me. I was just stranded out there. And I had to pick. I was a mule boy. I get on in
When you
there.
say no, they couldn't help you, what do you mean? You got a personal daddy? You mean your biological daddy and your mom's boyfriend? Is that what you're trying to say? Or are you saying that? Because you remember you told me back then, black people, well, the masters would get the women on the plantation pregnant, and then the husband had to stand, the black man had to claim the baby, even though it wasn't his baby.
Yeah, they've been doing that, yeah. That was the early years of it. Now, I'm talking about 1940, 1941. I was out there in that field at that time, where there's a lot of black people and a lot of cotton to be picked. And I was glad to see that, because we didn't have no money. No, my grandmother, I stayed with her. She didn't have any money.
Did your grandma have a husband?
No, she didn't have no husband.
What happened to her husband? Was she on the plantation too?
Yeah, my grandmother and I were on the plantation together, and my mother too. All of us on the plantation. We moved from the plantation into the city of Clarksdale.
Okay.
And that's where I got involved in all this stuff that I was doing. Black man's blackjack. You ever heard of a blackjack?
Hold on. You getting this?
A blackjack is something like about the size of my hand, and they got a piece of steel in it.
What?
Yeah. And that steel is covered up, and they hit you on the shoulder first. And when they can't get your attention, it's your head. Boom, boom. And then you'll start listening to what they say then. Sit down, nigga. Oh, yes, sir. I had to learn the language that they talk. I had to learn how to say yes, sir. No, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I was in a terrible situation. I couldn't say yes and no to nobody, because I was a nigger, and I was talking to a white man. See, so that's how it was set up. But then, finally, I managed to get out of all that, and I got a scholarship to Oklahoma Junior College. That's the only junior college they had in the state of Mississippi.
What did you do in college? What did you take up in college?
I was a football player.
What was your studies?
Science.
What was your major in college?
Football was my major.
Football was your major?
Yeah, you have a major for being because I was the best football player I had ever seen.
Really?
Ooh, was I good in football?
What was your position did you play?
I was a quarterback.
Quarterback?
Yeah.
What was your number?
13.
Number 13.
And I threw that ball so far in the field, all the white people that may come to the game, and they be clapping their hand. They come off the stage and just raise me up in the air and walk with me.
Really?
Yeah, they ain't never seen no nigga play no football like me. See, I was a sharp football player. I throw the ball, and every time I throw it, they might catch it.
So after you got out of college, you went and what did you do after that? Oh wait. Who did you grow up with? Did you say you played with B.B. King and?
Oh yeah, after that, after I get out of school, there was some musicians around that, the famous musician that was looking for some musicians. And I played the drums like nobody ever played the drums. I was fast with both hands, and I used both feet. See, and I played drums like a crazy man. They said, man, you hired. They gave me a job with B.B. King.
And what else did you do?
And I toured Mississippi with B.B. King. I gave that plantation work up. I toured Mississippi, and I made plenty of money when I was doing it. Met plenty of women. And yeah, plenty of women that drink plenty of corn liquor. Yeah, I drink liquor. Ooh, I drink so much liquor it came out of my ears. Yeah, and that was the best fun time I think I had.
Really?
Yeah.
Drinking corn liquor, that's moonshine, ain't it?
Yeah. But now the police catch you and on the highway and he pull you over and you got a bottle of moonshine in there, you going to jail and prison. You ever seen somebody go to jail and prison at the same time? That's what they penalize you. I was about 23 or 25 years old. They caught me drinking. Yeah. They took me to prison. I spent about 3 years in prison, and they released me. They had somebody to speak on my behalf, and they released me.
What they put you in prison for?
I had a bottle of a Splo in my hand. You know what Splo is, don't you?
No.
See, liquor comes like liquor in a sealed bottle, and then they had liquor in an open bottle. That means it's homemade. It's homemade liquor. It's like that. And you got homemade liquor, they give you more time for homemade liquor than they do for liquor that's bought on the shelf.
So they just took you to jail, they didn't give you a trial or nothing?
Yeah, they gave me a trial.
How'd it go?
I didn't pass nothing.
What you mean you didn't pass?
I didn't convince them that I didn't do that. I just said, yes, I did it. I was drinking. I drank it.
So you went to prison, Daddy, for real?
Yeah.
I never heard of that before.
Yeah, I went to prison.
What prison they put you in?
Coahoma County?
State prison.
Yeah.
What did you do when you was in prison, Daddy?
I chopped cotton. I picked cotton.
In prison?
Yeah.
You was on a chain gang or something?
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did for doing that. That's what that penalty was.
For real?
Yeah.
Well, what was like? I never even knew that.
Yeah. We get turned out and we could date the girls. But what the problem is, we had a problem with dating the girls because the white band, they wanted to date the colored women too.
Oh.
See, so if you were down there and I wanted to date you, I had to be careful. I had to find out if you dating a white man. If you dating a white man, I had to leave you alone. You see, I couldn't touch you. Because they catch me, they're going to beat me up again for having a relationship with a colored woman.
Dang. So when you got out of prison, jail or whatever they had you in, what happened? What'd you do after that?
I went to junior college. You know that? I didn't go in further than 2 years, junior college.
So when did you join the Navy, though?
Right after that, I joined the Navy.
They let you in the Navy after you've been in jail?
Yeah, sure. They didn't have no problem with, must somebody been in jail. The Navy still was glad to get me. And I played drums like nobody's in the business. Fastest man I ever seen on drums.
Okay, how long did you stay in the Navy?
I spent 12 years in the Navy.
You only stayed 4?
No, that's 4 years in the
Active
duty. But now I spent 7 or 8 more years in the reserves.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I spent a long time in the Navy, and then I didn't have no more trouble in the Navy.
So when you got in the Navy, what'd you do?
Then I got out of the Navy. Then
Well, what did you do when you was in the Navy? Where did you go when you were in the Navy?
Oh, let's see. I went to Mount Bow. I went to Tuskegee. All these colleges where these universities were.
What countries did you go to?
Oh, I went to Paris. I went to Nice. I went to Japan. I went to all these places that's on the West Coast and East Coast.
Did you learn? Did you have a significant other that you? Well, I want to know why you never. Have you ever been in love?
Yeah, I thought I was in love when I met this woman.
What about her?
She was beautiful. Looked like you. She was beautiful, and she loved me.
You said she was white.
She was white. I said she looked like you.
No, Daddy, I'm not white.
Well, I know that now, but she was white, but she looked like you.
Oh, she was Italian or something?
Yeah, she was Italian.
Oh, okay.
And I had beat all these people on the course, and she accepted me. Mm-hmm. So I began a period of letter writing. They shipped me away right away. Mm-hmm. I went to France. Mm-hmm. Now, nobody's been to France. I didn't speak French when I got there. Mm-hmm. I didn't know anybody that spoke French. Mm-hmm. And the girl I had here didn't speak no French. So I was in a bad predicament.
English, you mean?
Huh?
She didn't speak English, but she spoke French.
Yeah.
So you learned to speak French.
That's right. She didn't speak English. That's right.
Yeah.
She didn't even know what how you doing means.
Well, how do you say that in French?
Comment ça va? I could speak French like, ooh, it was going out of style, you know. But she couldn't speak a word of English. Mm-hmm. So.
What was her name?
Christiane.
Christiane
Terrelli.
Terrelli.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was she younger than you, Daddy?
Ooh, way younger than I was.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But we loved each other, and I stayed with her a long time. I came back to the States, mm-hmm. and I wanted to bring her over here. Mm-hmm. But they said, don't do that. You know, you're getting in trouble. You know, you can't be dating no white women and then bring them, even in New York. Can't bring them over here. Mm-hmm. They told me you get into trouble. And I thought that was true. But I found out later on, if you're in the service, you marry a white woman, you can bring her over here.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But they told me, don't mess with no white women. Mm-hmm. Not overseas, and don't mess with no white women in the United States. Mm-hmm. If we catch you doing that, we're going to beat your head into a pup. Mm. You see, they don't want no black men dating no white women, mm-hmm. Under no circumstances. Mm-hmm. So I didn't do that. Mm-hmm. So finally, I got the opportunity to get some more education. Mm-hmm. So I went to school in New York. Mm-hmm. It's called for veterans. Mm-hmm. And I learned a trade, and I learned how to speak French fluently. Mm-hmm. I spoke French pretty good, but I really learned French when I went to NYU. Mm-hmm. And I started writing back this girl, Christiane Terrelli. Mm-hmm. We started writing back each other, and I asked her to come on over to America. Mm-hmm. She didn't want to do that, mm-hmm. So I let that go. My heart was broken, but that was the end of our relationship. Mm-hmm. And then that was a heartbreaking thing. And so, let's see, where was I now?
Yeah, I can tell it was a heartbreak for you.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know what to do with myself. So I took this class at Coahoma Junior College, mm-hmm. and Aggie High School, mm-hmm. and I passed it. And then I
What happened to your education when you went to school to be and to be a professor? Didn't you?
oh, that's after I get out of Coahoma Junior College.
Okay.
I graduated from Coahoma Junior College, and I went to New York. And when I went to New York, I was going there because of the music. When I got there, everybody was really playing jazz, but I was the baddest jazz player they had ever seen or heard. I could play jazz like nobody's business. Play like, what's that guy's name? Max Roach. He's a dangerous guy, and I was dangerous on drums. I was kind of nervous because my nerve was always bad. So I was somebody was always behind me, trying to fight me, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why you think that was?
Because I had some white women. You can't have no white women and not have, not to be scared. You can't. I was scared everywhere I went.
Really?
Yeah. They gave me a discharge. So they gave me that discharge. I really flourished then.
They gave you a discharge. Who gave you a discharge? Military?
Yeah.
Why they gave you a discharge? Because you was dating a white woman?
No, they gave me a discharge because they wanted to get rid of me.
Why they want to get rid of you, Daddy?
Because I was dating a white woman.
I just said that.
No, you said it the wrong way then. I was dating this white woman, and they wanted to get rid of me.
So they gave you a discharge.
Yeah.
Did you get an honorable discharge though?
Yeah, and then I was dating a white woman before I started with this woman. I was dating a French girl.
A French girl, okay.
Yeah, but she lived in France.
What about your education? So you finished college and you got your psychology degree, right?
Oh, I finished college. I went to 2 years at school down in Mississippi. 2 years or 3 years. I finished there, and I went to a school in New York. It's called NYU.
And that's where you got your bachelor's degree or master's?
I got a master's degree there.
And then you start teaching. Then you moved to Tennessee.
Yeah, I got a PhD there too.
Okay. So you moved there and moved to Tennessee and start teaching, right?
Yeah.
In Nashville or Memphis?
I taught in Memphis.
But did you not teach in Nashville?
No, I didn't teach.
College in Nashville?
No, I didn't.
You were in college in Nashville, remember?
Yeah, I know.
You did, because that's where you met my mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
I taught high school in Nashville.
You taught high school psychology in Nashville?
Yeah.
Did you teach college psychology?
Well, I may have, but I don't remember it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I probably did. But
So, tell us about your life on Bill Street as a musician.
oh, Bill Street was really jamming when I got there. I played drums. I know I could outplay any drummer that ever lived. That's what I had in the back of my mind. The transfer I've been through, the stuff that I've been through, the mistreatment I've been through, the white man beat these guys, and I told you the white man was really rough during the time I was coming up. If they catch you saying out of pocket, saying yes or no to them, they're reaching that back pocket and get that blackjack. You say yes. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I mean yes. I mean yes, sir. He gonna whoop your butt with that blackjack. I got a many beatings because I forgot to say yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, ma'am. Oh, I didn't say that, but I forgot to say it. I would have said it, but I forgot to say it. I mean, I've been beat up a lot of times, and I dodge at police anytime I go back there, because I'm still leery about it. But if you were black, you had to, when you come to South, you had to learn a new language. That is, yes, sir. No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Did your mom work in the house?
Yeah, she worked in the house.
What did she do in the house?
She cooked a hell of a breakfast like you did. I believe y'all learning from each other. That's a toast. That toast and that jelly. Oh, that just set the stage.
So when did you? So your grandma is the one that raised you, and you said your mom left you when you were 13. Oh, how old were you when your mom left?
Oh, she died when I was about 15.
So when did she leave you though to live with your grandma?
When she died?
You remember you told me that she had to leave town?
Oh, that's an incident there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, she had so many men that the police started investigating it.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that she had to leave town.
Because?
She had too many men.
And did they think that your daddy might have been a white man?
They didn't care. They act like they didn't care about that. That she just had too many men and she making too much money.
Oh, okay.
That's what the problem was.
And you didn't have no siblings?
Siblings, no.
No brothers, no sisters?
I don't remember any. Mm-hmm. You know.
It was just you that was raised by your grandmother?
Yeah, raised by my grandmother, but born by my mother.
Born by your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how old you were when your last memory of her?
Before
she had to leave town. Before she had to leave town and left you with your grandma.
Well, she got married. That's what she got. She got married. She left town when she got married.
And left you with your grandma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother was not going to put up that stuff that she put up with. She was a Christian lady.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then after that, I got a job with University of Tennessee. I think it was University of Tennessee.
So your mom wasn't a Christian woman?
No, she wasn't a Christian woman. She was a stylish woman.
Oh.
She liked style.
Mm-hmm.
Things going on.
Mm-hmm.
She liked a new dress, a new outfit every day, every other day, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She was a fast woman. Mm-hmm. I say what they call fast woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my grandmother.
So do you think she had to do what she had to do to make money?
Yeah, she was thinking about me. Because if she wasn't a fast woman, she would have been a slow woman. Mm-hmm. A slow woman ain't gonna make no money. Mm-hmm. So she was a fast woman. She had plenty of dates.
Okay.
See, so almost like a prostitute.
Okay.
And that's how I survived in that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Then, this is the last of the story. After all that went down, I joined the Navy. Mm-hmm. And I came to a place in the Navy, it was Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. And I played the drums so well, they didn't know what to do with me. Mm-hmm. They said, man, this guy here is a bad drummer. We got to do something with him.
And you said you in the back of your mind, I was interested, you said that you said that in the back of your mind, you believed that because all the stuff that you have been through, so do you think all the stuff that you have been through up until that point, where do you think that was your drive and your what caused you to persevere and to try to play them drums as well as you did because of what you had been through? Yeah,
because see, I had a good teacher. Mm-hmm. My teacher was a black woman, mm-hmm. and she wasn't no street woman. She was a highly respected person. And she taught the drums and the trumpet. She was a hell of a musician. She could play the trumpet better than Louis Armstrong. And the drums, there was no questioning how fast she could play the drums. Woo, she was a dynamite.
And it was a lady that kind of got you started?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's still living. Her name is Consuela Carter.
Consuela, she's still living?
Yeah. She came to I got my PhD about 2 or 3 years ago. She came to my ceremony.
That was about 1988.
Well, whenever it was, she came to my ceremony.
Did?
Yeah.
Back then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Came to my
She's
ceremony.
not living right now.
No, I know she's not living there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So again, let's go back to Bill Street because you know we got. Tell us what your nickname was back in the day.
They called me Johnny Cool.
Why they call you that, Daddy?
Because when I play drums, I was always cool. I play with one hand and spin the stick with another. Spin it. Then spin the other one. Then I throw it up. When I throw it up in the air, I catch it behind my back.
Mm-hmm. So you learned a lot of tricks, huh?
Oh, man, what you talking about? I was a bad drummer. Nobody.
Was drums your passion? How did you feel about it?
I always wanted to play drums. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I saw somebody was doing that. I was thinking Buddy Rich or somebody. And I said, I'm going to pattern myself after this guy. And I became the baddest drummer they ever seen in New York.
In New York?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in New York.
What made you move back to Memphis?
Well.
And not Clarksdale?
Well, Clarksdale didn't have enough for me. After leaving New York, you got to go to a bigger city, to match it. Mm-hmm. So I stayed around New York for 25, 30 years. Mm-hmm. I went to college in New York. Mm-hmm. I went to graduate school. I got my PhD from a college in New York. Mm-hmm. And I got a master's degree from a college in New York. I got a lot of training.
In New York?
Mm-hmm.
So what was life like in New York?
Fast, very fast. Mm-hmm. Everybody had to be fast. Mm-hmm. And I was one of the fastest guys I ever seen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then...
How many, I know you say you spoke French. What other language do you speak?
I spoke French, I spoke Italian, I spoke Greek, I speak Arabic, and I speak Arabic.
Spanish.
And Spanish. I spoke 5 languages. Mm-hmm. And I spoke them fluently.
You did?
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of each one of them, if you can remember.
Yo toco la música de la gente de mi sur.
What's that?
Spanish.
That ain't Spanish.
Yo toco la música de la gente de mi sur.
What did you just say?
I said, I play the music of the Middle South.
Okay. Say something else.
Es la, let's see. Oh, you want to hear Spanish? Mm-hmm. Okay. In Spanish, I have to say something like, let's see. ¿Cuánto tiempo hace que está aquí?
Something right here.
Yeah. How long have you been doing this right here?
See?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So in Italian.
Italiano. Mm-hmm. I know that.
Do you know anything else in Italian?
Yeah, I know a whole lot in Italian. Let's see, because I used to hang out with the mafia. Yeah.
What you doing hanging out with the mafia?
Well, I played and worked in a part of town that was considered a mafia territory. After I got out of the Navy.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that. Mm-hmm.
I went over to the part of Brooklyn Mafia in New York.
You weren't part of the mafia though, right?